up, China City volunteers bring relief items to needy families in Fujian and Guangdong. We investigate why Taiwan's beaches are disappearing and ways to help restore our coastlines. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Wendy Chen. Thank you for joining us. First up in China, a winter aid distribution was held in Changtai County of Fujian Province on January 4th. Joining the volunteers in serving local residents were formal care recipients of Tzu Chi. But first, let's join a group of volunteers in Xiamen as they delivered relief supplies to impoverished families in remote villages. Carrying bags of rice on their shoulders, volunteers make their way across winding paths. The uneven roads do not deter volunteers from bringing their love into this village. Bereaved over her son's illness, young Yiming's mother starts to tear up upon receiving the aid supplies from the volunteers.
This illness makes me want to die rather than live. Sitting on the bed with his entire body trembling, young Yiming's dreams and aspirations were shattered when he fell ill last year. While volunteers learn more about Yiming's situation, his mother breaks down in tears. It has been a long while since Yiming's mother has received so much company. Since her two sons' passing, Young has had to rely on medication to stabilize her mood. I used to complain about my parents, but now I have learned to put myself in their shoes. Volunteers are holding the first ever winter relief distribution here in Changtai County. Seeing the some 100 families that will benefit from Tzu Chi's aid, volunteer Yang Meijun is deeply moved.
We were also once a low-income household, and that is how we got to know Tzu Chi. I told my sister that when we have the means, we should join as volunteers.
A resident who was once addicted to alcohol for 8 years has also walked out of his past to join the volunteers' ranks. Tzu Chi volunteers often came to care for me. They helped me become who I am now. Although this is the first winter aid distribution here, however, with the volunteers' continuous efforts, this pool of love in Changtai is sure to grow into an ocean of compassion. Moving to Guangzhou City, Tzu Chi volunteers organized a year-end blessing ceremony at the Tzu Chi Tianhe office, where over 2,000 participants took part. Meanwhile, 178 Tzu Chi volunteers organized the first winter aid distribution in Zhongluotan town to help 762 local residents brave the cold days ahead. Guangzhou is the third largest city in China, with an annual GDP per capita of $13,000. Nonetheless, poverty is still a widespread problem in the region. In Zhongluotan town, northern Guangzhou, Tzu Chi volunteers conducted a winter aid distribution to help needy residents brave the cold winter.
In August 2012, we carried out an initial survey in Zhongluotan and found how difficult life was there. So we decided to help these needy residents in a respectful manner.
Learning that the event needs helping hands, several local students volunteered to help with the decoration of the venue, as well as the carrying of bags of rice for senior recipients.
Now I want to help the less fortunate and study hard, so I can help more needy people in the future. Zhongluotan town is a water reserve area, so local residents cannot transform their farmland into factories. That's why locals cannot earn enough to get by.
Zhongluotan is located upstream of Liuxi River, which is the main water source for Guangzhou City.
Liuxi River is a tributary of the Pearl River, flowing through Zhongluotan town and Guangzhou City. To preserve the water quality of the river and prevent water pollution, we relocated all the farms along the embankments to the area 100 meters away from the river.
Thanks to water preservation scheme, Guangzhou citizens are able to enjoy safe and clean water. Besides DaAi distribution, Tzu Chi volunteers visit recipients' home to offer them emotional support. Guangzhou City is one of China's leading commercial and manufacturing centers. Numerous youngsters strive to get a place in this big city. However, that's not what Chen Yongmin longs for. After joining Tzu Chi, his drifting heart finally found a place to settle down.
We can apply Master Zhenyan's Dharma in Tzu Chi. Sometimes we can share the Dharma with friends and family too.
At his workplace, Yongming is a hardworking employee, while after work, he makes good use of his time as he joins in a study group to learn with his fellow volunteers.
Master Zhenyan wants us to practice the Jinsi Dharma. At each study session, I always learn something new.
At the recent year-end blessing ceremony, Yongming shows up to share his story, while on-stage volunteer Chen Yuannan seizes the chance to repent for his past mistakes.
The hunter killed me and then used boiling oil to fry me. At that moment, I realized that animals also feel pain. I feel ashamed because I used to slaughter animals and cook meat dishes.
Repenting for his previous karma, Chen Yuannan now is part of the Tzu Chi family, where he contributes his professional skills.
After I joined the Tzu Chi family, I felt blessed. This is the right path, one we should all walk on.
With a clear path and right direction, these volunteers will enjoy a blessed new year ahead.
Staying in China in October of 2013, Beijing Tzu Chi volunteers visited senior Ma Si-ying and his family in Fangshan district. As the family lives in a dilapidated century-old house, Tzu Chi volunteers seized the opportunity to help repair their home. Now months have passed, and at the onset of the new year, Tzu Chi volunteers once again visited the Ma family with winter aid supplies. Today, Tzu Chi volunteers are once again paying a visit to senior Ma Si-ying. As they step inside the grandpa's home, they're greeted as old friends.
第一件事就是说要给你打扫这个屋里面的卫生，给你清理一下。第二件事就是说中午我们要跟你们团圆一下，在这里煮一点汤圆。
Having seen the senior hand washing clothes in the icy weather, volunteers brought him a second-hand washing machine this time around.
下了，转正那个，
电源按下去不是都亮了？亮完了再按这个，它就出水了。盖的要盖好，就不用管它了。不用管它，它就会洗干净。洗干净完以后，它停了，它会响，它会就是洗好了。
A fully automated washing machine is something new for Grandpa Ma. Hence, he is extra attentive when listening to the instructions. Other than the washing machine, volunteers also brought other New Year's gifts for the family.
春节过年的时候啊，你就把这个好的衣服干干净净的穿一套起来，很好看。把这个屋里面的给它铺好看一点，干净一点。
In fact, just a few months ago, the Ma home was not as tidy as it appears now. Volunteers spent hours helping the family tidy and repair their home. Inspired by the love he experienced over the past few months, Grandpa Ma is now fulfilling his promise of helping others.
You help me, and in turn, I can help others.
这是您的爱心哦，我们帮助很多人。谢谢你，谢谢感恩你。
是我的微不足道，我还得继续努力，加大力气做好事。
Living up to his word, not only have Grandpa Ma's gestures moved the volunteers, but they have also brought a touch of warmth to his home amid the winter's cold.
大家新年快乐！
好，感谢大妈为我们是一家人。
Though life has its ups and downs, we can still contribute to a greater cause when times are bad. In Taiwan's Taizhou, Tzu Chi care recipient Mr. Chen lost everything he had when a debt he had guaranteed fell through. His family left him and he later contracted diabetes. Depressed, it was thanks to Tzu Chi's support that Mr. Chen rediscovered a purpose in his life.
In Taiwan's Taichung, Tzu Chi volunteers pay a visit to care recipient Mr. Chen. Though the afternoon is not chilly, Mr. Chen is tightly bundled up in winter gear.
My hands and feet are always cold. My circulation is bad.
Due to severe diabetes, Mr. Chen's blood circulation is quite poor. He fell into poverty when the debt he guaranteed fell through. Though his family left him, he doesn't complain.
Thanks to Tzu Chi's great love, these brothers and sisters are here for me, which is a great comfort.
Even though he has trouble moving about, Mr. Chen still commits 2 days a week to Tzu Chi's recycling work. It is his happiest time.
Doing this helps improve my health. Otherwise, I don't use my hands all that much. In my condition, if I don't move around much, but sit at home all day, I will get depressed easily.
He is quite determined. Since he signed up, he comes around the recycling station at about 7 in the morning. He is never late or absent.
By serving at the recycling station, Mr. Chen has readjusted himself and discovered happiness and contentment in his life.
In Taoyuan, Taiwan, there are a total of 213 Tzu Chi commissioners and citizens receiving their certifications this year. Among them is Li Yuxian, who suffers from severe vision impairment. However, her reduced ability to see has not deterred Li from participating in Tzu Chi volunteer training seminars. Let's take a look.
At the Tzu Chi Volunteer Certification Ceremony in Taoyuan, despite her vision impairment, Li Yuxian is able to perfectly match the movements of the other performers, thanks to her countless hours of practice.
I use the computer to learn the movements. My husband would make sure the video is in the right place. But actually, the computer makes it more difficult to learn because sometimes I can't tell if it's a thumb or index finger.
Facing obstacles in life, Li has not given up. She says in order to spread Master Zhenyan's Dharma to others, she needs to conquer her own physical limitations first.
I think there are many ways to do things in life. Just because I can't see doesn't mean I'm unable to do things. There are many things I can still accomplish, so I have never given up.
Holding on to this optimistic outlook in life, Li still insists on making her weekly visits to the recycling station.
Today's sunlight is just right. If the sun was any brighter, then I would have to put on my sunglasses. Otherwise, I would not be able to see the crosswalk. In the past, I have either missed my stop or gotten off too early.
With her reduced vision, Li sorts recyclables by touch, and in simple tasks such as flattening plastic bottles, she brings much wisdom to the act.
Take this bottle for instance. When it's filled, it is as if a person is haughty and arrogant. So sometimes we need to let a little air out, humble ourselves so that we can rethink our actions.
On the day of receiving her commissioner certification, a senior Tzu Chi volunteer helps Li pin on her flower. Meanwhile, Li remembers the blessings of her family.
First is to remain gentle in my speech and actions. Second is to make sure I really am committed to doing Tzu Chi, not just because I want to wear the cheongsam.
Although my mother's vision is impaired, she can still do many things.
Under the well wishes of her daughter, Li Yuxian follows in the footsteps of other Tzu Chi volunteers, proving once again that nothing is impossible if one believes it is achievable.
Going to the beach to enjoy building sandcastles, surfing, swimming, or simply sunbathing is many people's favorite summer pastime. However, what if the sandy beaches we take for granted disappear one day? Do you know sandbars act as natural barriers and protect us from large waves? We now introduce you to Qigu Sand Dune Restoration Project and learn why our beaches are disappearing and what we can do about it.
13.5 上次是多少？84。80哈？淹没这么多哦？
对，84啊。
哇哦，这次的效果很好。
The changes in the length means the sand dunes are getting higher. Here in Qigu, faculty and students from Tainan's Beimen Community College are erecting fences in hopes of restoring the sandy shoreline that is quickly eroding away.
The sand dunes used to be quite magnificent. They were nearly 3 stories tall.
Tainan's Qigu district is home to Taiwan's biggest river mouth lagoon, which is surrounded by sandbars. However, after an embankment was built, sand began to deposit in the water, which reduced the size of the lagoon by a quarter, while the sandbar eroded away at 15 meters per year. Most importantly, the disappearance of the sandbar, which acts as a natural barrier between land and sea, means residents are now faced with the threats of large waves making their way inland. To help, volunteers install bamboo fences to catch sand.
We want to minimize the impact to the environment. Bamboo is a natural material. It won't be a burden to the environment if left in the sand. It is also effective in sand collection.
The work requires a lot of manpower. Thus, the college offers working holidays to attract students. Today's northeast seasonal wind is unusually forceful. Still, volunteers gear up and head out to do their job. Thanks to their efforts, the sand dunes have grown by 20 to 30 centimeters in the past 5 years.
A person can only do so much. We need more people to support the cause.
As powerful gusts carry off grains of sand, volunteers realize the importance and urgency of their work. However, the problem of coastal erosion is not limited to Qigu. Currently, 80% of Taiwan's shorelines are disappearing due to unwarranted development. It is most severe in Hsinchu between Jincheng and Xiangshan.
Often after a man-made structure is put in place, the behavior of the shoreline is disrupted, which causes coastal erosion in the surrounding areas.
When man-made barrier is put into the water along Taiwan's western shore, the current north of the structure will trap sand causing accumulation, while erosion occurs south of the barrier. Unfortunately, Taiwan's western shore is full of man-made structures and has the highest seaport density in the world, averaging a seaport every 7 kilometers. Thankfully, 14 out of the 255 seaports have been scrapped since 2005.
The changes to our shorelines are quite serious. If through such activity, people are inspired to care for Taiwan's environmental problems, I think that is very important.
Ultimately, the sand dune restoration project in Qigu aims to raise environmental awareness. Taiwan loses 100 hectares of land to erosion every year. As the natural protection offered by our shorelines crumble, people are also coming directly into harm's way. In the end, we see that it is man's actions that amplify natural disasters.
For the 3rd consecutive year, the Tzu International Medical Association has teamed up with New Taipei City's Labor Bureau to provide foreign laborers from Vietnam with a free health examination. A group of new immigrants were also on site to help their fellow countrymen.
Collaborating with New Taipei City's Labor Bureau, Tzu International Medical Association is providing free health checkups for foreign workers before the Lunar New Year holidays.
Since this is a free clinic, good sanitation is the most important.
Thank you Tzu Foundation for providing services from psychiatry, OBGYN, dentistry, ENT, and so many other departments for our foreign laborers.
For over 3 years, the clinic has delivered consistent and free medical care. This year, a group of new residents enrolled in continuing study classes have a chance to practice what they've learned.
In class, we're now teaching about compassionate giving and volunteering. So by giving them a chance to become a volunteer, they will experience firsthand the joy of helping others.
First and foremost, it's free. Second, this gives our fellow countrymen a chance to get a health check. It shows you care about our well-being.
就是有照顾到我们，有关心到我们新住民的。过来这边呢，什么都不懂啊。
When we first came to Taiwan, we were strangers in this country. To see a doctor cost money, so this clinic really helped us. We are very grateful.
谢谢你们。
对，比较清楚。对，就清楚的。可以哈，那你就暂时先带这个啊。
With their health problems taken care of, these foreign laborers are ready to welcome in the coming Lunar New Year.
Medical staff of the Guanshan City Hospital in Taidong, Taiwan, recently visited an 85-year-old solitary senior to help clean her home. At first, the senior was determined to do the job herself, but after much persuasion, she finally agreed to let volunteers and medical staff in. A group of volunteers is moving all types of household items outside. From small pots and pans to the television, everything is brought out into the yard. With the ceiling in desperate need of repairs, under the leadership of Guanshan City Hospital Superintendent, hospital staff, neighbors, volunteers are all helping the 85-year-old Grandma Cho clean her home.
The hospital staff are here to care for my mother, and they are helping her tidy up the surroundings to give her a cleaner environment to live in. I am very thankful to them.
Volunteers work in unison. Some did the washing while others did the scrubbing, and another group assembled the new bed. Seeing the selflessness of volunteers, the grandma couldn't stop saying thank you.
哦，谢谢哈，啊，给你过新年呢，啊，你有没有高兴？有呢，我没有办法。不要紧哈，我们会帮忙你。
With everyone's combined efforts, the originally untidy environment is now spick and span. Moving to Malaysia on the first day of school at the Penang DaAi Kindergarten, teachers work together to make sure these youngsters settle in as soon as possible and enjoy the new chapter of their lives.
It's the first day of school for Penang City kindergartners, and teachers and DaAi parents are out welcoming the new students.
谁的名字？是谁的名字对吗？啊 ，OK， 我们老师再给你改过哈，然后来加上去，哦，让全部人看到你的时候就知道，哦，杨思轩你好，早安，早安，同学们早安，同学安。
In this new environment, some children enjoy the novelty, while others start to cry.
I already knew he would be scared and start crying, so this morning I told him that Master Zheng Yan will watch over him and protect him, but he still couldn't help but feel scared.
Dealing with children of all types, teachers here must stay calm and lend each other support.
I need to maintain peace in my heart, as my emotions can affect the children too. I've had a year of experience, so I hope that gives me plenty of preparation and blessing.
Thanks to Tzu Ji, these young children are growing up in an environment filled with love and care, one that will nurture their confidence, determination, and bravery.
We go to the United States at the end of today's program, where the City Dallas chapter recently held a winter aid distribution at a homeless shelter in Houston and handed out environmental blankets to those in need. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you for tuning in. Goodbye.